So today I'm going to be attempting to make some leather weightlifting grips. I have these as an example. I've never done these before, so we're just going to wing it. We'll make a pattern and then see what happens, see if they work. Got my paper, got all my curves and stuff. So I'm just going to use my own hand size and see what we come up with. Alright, got my pattern. Right hand side, flip it over to the left. I'm going to use a utility side. I believe, I'm not quite sure on the weight. I think it's like 6 or 7 or 6 and 7 or 5 or 6, something like that. So I'll trace it out and then we'll cut it out and then we'll go from there. For rounded corners, instead of trying to cut it all the way around in one cut, sometimes it's easier just to do little cuts like that, and then you won't like pull the leather when you're trying to cut. You can always fix it up with your edge beveler too you can see the little lines and you don't like that. Oh, there's that. Now I'm going to cut straps to go across here and then we'll do a buckle. I'm gonna round these corners here just so that looks a little nicer, and then I'm also gonna add a decorative groove This is a #1 edge beveler from Weaver Leather Supply. That's where I get most of my stuff. Go check them out. This specific leather is kind of a pain in the butt to bevel just because it's a little bit stretchy. I don't have any D-rings, so I'm just going to use these little loop-de-loop things, which are 1 inch. So I cut these new straps at 7/8 of an inch, so I can just do like the belt thing where you put it in there and then put it back through the one. I think that'll be a little easier. So my thought process is, this is where my hand is going to go. This flush side is going to be what grips the bar. So this is going to go on this side out here. And also, thinking through this, it's going to be easier to pull something tighter this way instead of going like that. So the loop is going to come through and I'm going to pull it tight through here. So these need to be on this side, so the inner part of my wrist. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this side shorter. I'm going to sew this strap on here, and then we're going to loop this around and rivet or sew or both these on, and then we'll cut this at the end when I measure it on my wrist. So something like that, and then that'll come through. So I'm gonna put a nicer edge on these straps real quick. This is a 1.5 inch English point for belts and stuff, but you can use it on smaller stuff too. So I'm just gonna whap this off. I'm just gonna whap off one side for now because, like I said, I'm gonna do the exact measurement on the other side later. Just like that. There she blows. I'm going to glue this 4 inches into the strap. So I'm just gonna make a mark, and I'll glue it first for a temporary hold, and then I will sew it. Got those all marked. This is Phoebing's Leathercraft Cement. I use that usually when I'm gonna sew something and I just want it to hold still for me. It was a bit much. Okay, take 2. Okay. No, you keep going. So, as you can see, this sewing machine is still a work in progress. That groove line now looks terrible, but that's okay, because I'm the one that's wearing them. So I'm going to pound down this stitch line. That looks repulsive. Ew, I hate that. And now we're ready for hardware. There's that. These are double cap rivets. I don't remember the exact measurements of them, but slide it in, pop that on there, and we'll set it. And I think I'll do one more on each after I set this. Might be a pain in the booty. My wrists are really super skinny. It's okay. Yeah, that'll work. So I don't need, probably could have gone in further with this. Maybe even right there. I might take these out and put it over like that. That might be uncomfy. They are kind of stiff, but it's leather, so it'll loosen up. Alright, so here is the finished product. They work, technically. I got a couple takeaways, though. I did not account for the fact that this isn't an actual belt buckle. So instead of just pulling through, they go back the other way. So I should have put these on the other side. It doesn't make that big a difference. It's not too much more work to pull it the opposite direction, but just something I can make note of for future. Also, I just recently got my sewing machine, so I'm still figuring that out. And this is some thicker thread than I've used before, so you can see there's some issues here I gotta figure out right there. There's a couple knots and some stuff under here that got covered up. Also, I would make this part shorter, so I did end up taking those rivets out and folding it further over. So I can either make the strap shorter or put this closer to the body piece. Also, one more thing is I would make this probably about an inch longer. They work just fine, but I kind of, personally, I want to have the leather going further out than my fingers. That may just be a personal preference, I don't know. And then also, I don't think I would do the groove line, especially that one more time. The plan kind of changed after I did that, so it doesn't look amazing, but they work for what I need them for. So hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something that you didn't know before.